Yo, what's good, you guys? I just wanted to showcase my new Regenesis branded Dogmatica deck. I went almost undefeated 4-0 last night at locals. Made it to last round, and I lost in game 3 against Mitsurugi, voiceless voice, funny enough. But I wanted to showcase this deck. I think with the new support, this deck gets really good, like really, really good. And I'm playing like a different version that I haven't really seen people experimenting with, so I think this might inspire some others to try and experiment. So then I just show off the deck and kind of share what I've been cooking. So we start with the Regenesis package, right? So 3 Archfiend, 1 Dragon, 1 Warrior, 1 Sage. No Lord. I don't think there's much value in playing Lord. I understand that you can banish the new Thunderbolt Fleur-de-Lis for him and stuff, but I think when you're searching the pieces, like Archfiend's going to get you the birth, and that's usually all you really need. Lord does have some application, but I don't want to brick on it either. So I think like drawing this guy, drawing this guy with no other Regenesis cards is high risk enough for me. So I decided not to play Lord. But the 6 Regenesis monsters, I think they're really, really strong, and they're the whole reason we're playing this build. The hand traps we're playing are 3 Ash, 3 Fulos, 3 Bell, and 3 Nibiru. These are all pretty self-explanatory. Nibiru is just particularly really good in this deck. Oh, I don't want to spoil the sauce. The Nibiru is particularly really good in this deck because, again, all your Regenesis guys like float and come back, so you don't care if you tribute them. And just being able to just like basically end like Yummy's turn and like end like big wombo combo decks that want to go off, and like especially anything that's really not Mitsurugi. It really does hurt. Even like this came up against Mitsurugi Orcus because I got him in a good spot where he already used all his Mitsurugi stuff and then tried to do Orcus combo, and then slapped this guy down, and that was it. That was it. So there is 3 other hand traps as well. I will show shortly. So we are playing 15 hand traps technically, but these are the 12 generic hand traps. All of them are really good. Ghost Bell particularly is really freaking good. Just being able to interact with the Draco Tail stuff is like super clutch. Being able to hit prayers, especially when they're trying to like crack back and Mirakumo you on your turn. Ghost Bell was absolutely essential. So I love this hand trap lineup, and I wouldn't change it at all. So I'll now show a bit of the spice, a bit of the unorthodox stuff. So this is the Dogmatica package. Dogmatica Branded package. So these are pretty standard, right? These make a lot of sense. The 3 Thunderbolt and the Ecclesia. Thunderbolt is 25-25, so he's just perfectly synergistic with all the Regenesis stuff. He's a hand trap because you can summon him on your opponent's main phase and set a punishment right from the deck, and then you can use the punishment to interrupt your opponent on their turn as well, like on your turn 0. So very good. I consider him like the 13th, 14th, and 15th hand trap. Ecclesia is also searchable off of Nadir, and it can also grab you the punishment, or the new Fallen and Virtuous. So Ecclesia is by all measures a very needed card in this build. These are the unorthodox cards. These are unorthodox cards that are like, why are you playing these? Well, Aluber searches Branded Fusion. So I'll show that in a minute. But because we're playing Branded Fusion, we need to play the Albaz, obviously. But Aluber also searches the Fallen and Virtuous because it's also a Despia card. So Aluber just makes a lot of sense here. In this deck, you don't really have many normal summons. So being able to take advantage of that fact and search either the Fallen and Virtuous or the Branded Fusion really makes this guy, quite potent. So I love this lineup. Like, I love this deck, and I love the fact that we can play really broken cards like Branded Fusion on top of all the stuff we're playing. So that's all the monsters in here. I believe it's like 24 or 25 monsters. And then we're playing for spells. 3 Nadir, pretty self-explanatory. A card's broken. only 2 code and 2 Regenesis. So I found the Regenesis stuff was redundant. Like when I was playing 3 of each of these, if you open 2 of either of these, like it really, really sucks. Every card in your hand, like the perfect hand in this deck is if you're just opening one, every card in your hand is something different. If you're opening 2 of the same card, it's just really, really sucks. So I love these ratios. I love these numbers. Like 2 of each is perfect consistency. You're not playing too few and you're not playing too many. Nadir Servant, I mean, basically contradicts what I just said, but Nadir Servant's also just broken. Like it's just a standalone, really good card. It's an engage. It's like a, a pot of greed basically. So I think you just want to be able to see this card like always, every time, every hand. So there's that, and then we're playing Branded Fusions. So again, you can search it with Eluber. You can also search, and I'll show you. I'm playing the 2 Virtuous as well. So these are both searchable by Eluber. They're both searchable by the Albion, the Branded Dragon. And this in particular can be searched by the Eluber, and this can also be searched by Ecclesia. So all of these are just super synergistic and just kind of like loop into each other. So I love these numbers. I mean, if I could play more Branded Fusion, I would. But unfortunately, we can only play 2. This I've been considering bumping to 3. But again, I just like the consistency aspect. If you're going to open 2 of these, it's like, it's okay. Again, this card's just so broken that you really could play 3. But I think like 2 is just the right number because of how easily you can search it and set it. So I don't think playing 3 is correct, but I might try and play 3. We'll see. But anyways, the spell numbers here, I'm a huge fan of. And then of course we're playing Talents and Called By. Like these deserve need no further explanation. They're really good. One last thing is you might think when you're playing the Thunderbolt, and it has come up a couple times, when you're playing the Thunderbolt and you go like turn 0 Thunderbolt and then Punishment, and then like you shut your Branded Fusion off. It has happened on occasion. So that is one compromise you play in this deck, is sometimes if you hard open the Fusion and you have to Thunderbolt on turn 0 and you have to interrupt them with the Punishment, you do have to make that compromise. I would say this is probably about like a 10 to 20% likelihood, like a 10 to 20% scenario that's going to actually occur. Most of the times, you're just not opening this. Like you don't hard open this very often. And if you see the Eluber, you can just go into the Fallen of Virtuous. So anyways, trap wise, I'm just playing 3 traps. And those are the 2 Punishment and the Birth. Just 1 Birth. Again, like it's a pretty small Regenesis package. I'm not trying to go like max out all the Regenesis stuff, because I feel like, again, if you're drawing multiples of the Regenesis stuff, it gets really redundant. All you really care about Regenesis wise is that you're taking advantage and you're resolving your effects. Like you're resolving the Warrior, resolving the Sage, resolving the Archfiend, and like you're usually good. Archfiend's going to search your Birth like 9 out of 10 times. And if you can Book a Moon, that's fine. Like it's really only relevant against Yummy, because Book a Moon really does nothing else against any other deck, like not Draco Tail, not Mitsurugi. So it's okay. And I mean, if the Soul Charge does come up, obviously, so I'm not going to say that's not a good effect. But anyways, we're just trying to make it as consistent as we can. So it's 41 cards in the main deck. To the extra deck real quick. So extra deck, all of our branded stuff. We're playing 6 branded cards. So 2 Albion. This could almost honestly deserve to be bumped up to a 3. Titaniclad's really good to loop into the Dogmatica stuff. And then he also actually outs Liger Dancer too, because you can use Albaz and Nibiru to make this guy, when he becomes 4 grand off of Branded Fusion. And then he's unaffected by the Regeki of the Liger Dancer, so he can actually out Liger Dancer really cleanly. So that's a cool little feature of playing the branded package. We're playing Mirror Jade, obviously. Like this is one of the payoffs of playing Branded Fusion. We're playing Rinbrum, another payoff. You can just hard make this with Albaz and Fulos, and then he becomes like a double interact, because you can use his first effect on the field to negate and bounce. And if your hits the grave, you can just recycle the Albaz, and then you can continue to play, like, you can fuse on your opponent's turn into one of these. And then we're actually playing the new Towers guy. We play Ecclesia in this deck, so it actually turns on the Towers thing. He gains 500, he becomes unaffected. So it's really, really cool. That's part of the motivation why I wanted to play this. And the fact that if he gets sent to grave, he can add a Dogmatica card. And he's really good. You can oftentimes just like Branded Fusion into the Albion. Like, this is typically like turn 2, 3, 4, 5. You can Branded Fusion to the Albion, and then you can use Albion to fuse into this guy. And then when you summon him, you can shuffle back the Branded Fusion and the Albaz that you used in the first place to recycle it all. And then that way, if you draw Branded Fusion later or you send the Albion to grave, you can once again loop back into the Branded Fusion and once again fuse again. So the Branded Fusion package in this deck just takes this deck to a whole nother level. It makes it so like you're not just doing Regenesis Dogmatica plays, but you also have all the extra power of Branded Fusion, and it perfectly synergizes with the Fallen and Virtuous to either get you another Fallen and Virtuous or get you a Branded Fusion when you send the Albion. So I really, really like the Branded Fusion package. Non-branded stuff, we're just playing like the extra deck targets for punishment / nadir. Not too much to be said about these. They're pretty self-explanatory. This thing you have to play so you can hit 3 grand and higher. Garura, Malong, Natis. They're all self-explanatory, right? And then the last 5 cards in the extra are Almirage and SP. This is essential because you need to be able to summon the Ash, the Fua, and the Ghost Bell to make this to then either make a good SP, or you can just put this on the board and now your Thunderbolt becomes live. And you can summon the Thunderbolt and just set the Dogmatica trap. Like, you even do that turn 1, so it's definitely needed. And then the last 3 cards, Typhon, self-explanatory, Ding, self-explanatory, and then I'm also playing this guy. This was a Big Eye. This was a number 11 Big Eye, I think that's what his number is, because it does come up. And it actually came up yesterday, last night, and I was upset that I didn't have the Big Eye. But I figured that there's going to be more rank 8 plays that happen in this deck than anything, so I wanted to have a second rank 8 in here. I mean, Ding was just a straightforward no-brainer, but I was testing this guy, and I feel like he didn't come up, but it would either be this or Garunix, or I would go back to the Big Eye. So that's like your one flex spot. I'm going to continue to like think about it, but yeah, that's the extra. I love the extra in this deck. I think it works perfectly. Every card in here serves a purpose, a very specific and unique purpose, and yeah, I wouldn't change it at all. Finally, we'll get into the side deck. I'm playing 2 Lava Golem. This is pretty standard, shouldn't be any surprise. It's like a Regenesis like staple. You know, outs like a whole bunch of stuff, doesn't start a chain, it's 2500 stat line. Like, what more can you ask in like a going second board breaker card? Played 3 Retaliating Seed, but I'm gonna change this to Droll and Lockbird. I'm actually not playing Droll, and I didn't think I needed it last night because my locals were there were so many Draco Tail when I was playing last weekend. And I'm like, okay, well, we don't need Droll any longer because Droll does literally nothing against Draco Tail and Yummy. But I ended up playing 3 Mitsurugi last night and 1 Draco Tail, and I 2-0'd 2 of my Mitsurugi matchups, but the last matchup I went to game 3 and lost. So, I mean, Retaliating's obviously very good against Draco Tail, but it also hurts us quite a bit. So I think the gains you get from Retaliating don't offset the fact that you're really hurting yourself. So I'm going to cut the Retaliating Seed as much as I want to keep it. As good it is into Draco Tail, I think I'm going to cut it. And Draco Tail players are actually getting pretty wise. They're playing Fenrir and they're playing Cartesia to just simply play around this card. Like, they're just not going to play into it. Or they're going to summon Fenrir Search, and then you're going to, like, chain Retaliating to the Rahu or the Ketu, and then when it resolves, they just Fenrir, hit this, and then you're just down a card, and it's like, it really accomplished nothing. So, as good as this card is, it's going to get cut, unfortunately. We're playing 2 Thrust, Harpies, and the Regekis. So, Thrust is MVP of this deck. Thrust is absolutely insane. Remember how many like normal spells we're playing in this deck, right? We're playing Branded Fusion, we're playing Regenesis, we're playing Nadir Servant, we're playing Talents. There are so many good targets for this card. I also like, just as a personal preference, I'd like to have the Regeki to search off of this, just in those cases where you're up against Yummy. Obviously, this card just claps Yummy. Or you're just up against, you're in a situation where like you just want to be able to search your board clear and then just drop a bunch of guys and swing for game. So these were essential. Regeki is kind of this flex spot where I would consider cutting it and swapping it to something else. But yeah, these cards are absolutely essential. And then my traps, I'm playing 2 Dragon's Mind for going first, self-explanatory. Black Goat and DDG also for going first. They are settable off of the thrust, which makes them just, you know, very good for their own reasons. And I'm playing evenly matched, 2 evenly matched, because again you can search it off of the thrust. So essentially we're playing 4 evenly. Evenly is also the MVP. Like, this card won me games, just being able to evenly to clear the board. When Draco Tail does a full like setup and they've got the 3 traps in the back row, you can't interact with this, not cleanly at least. In again, Yummy, it claps. Mitsurugi, it cracks their setup, and you're just using 1 card, and you know, forfeiting your battle phase is a hardly a punishment considering all the gains you get from evenly matched. So yeah, that's the deck profile. I think this deck, particularly this build, is really freaking strong. I don't think I've played a stronger Regenesis build than this. Like, adding the branded fusion stuff just takes this deck to a whole new level, and you know, I think this deck is just so strong. So I thought I'd share. I'm gonna try and win a tournament next time, and we'll see how things go. Thanks for tuning in.